We're very pleased to kick off our public education campaign called Let's Grow Kids, focus on the first years. We think it's a beautiful logo, and we hope that you guys approve of it. You know, some of us have asked already, they've asked the question, why do you need the campaign? Why do we need a public education campaign about early childhood? And we know that new science tells us that the early years of development are so very critical to healthy development and to laying the foundation for future success. We're very pleased and honored to have Dr. Joe Hagan here with us today, who's going to talk a little bit more about brain development in the early years in just a bit. We also have recent research that tells us that Vermonters have no real understanding about how much is going on during those early years and how critical the development of young children is to laying the foundation to future success. Additionally, Vermonters are unaware of how well we're doing to setting children on the right path to success, how well we're doing preparing them during the early years in order for them to have healthy relationships, succeed academically, and to become productive, contributing citizens in adulthood.
Then the last bit of data that I will share with you has to do with developmental screening. And basically, we know through research that one of the best measures that we can take is to do a developmental screening in the early years for children. And here in Vermont, only about a third of our children, in fact, undergo that screening. So again, lots of work to do. I'm looking forward to collaborating with Robin, with Rick, with all of the folks behind this campaign to do what is right and best for our children in Vermont.
And here's about what we adults can do that impacts upon brain growth. Number one, 80% of a child's neurons, brain cells, look at that, are there by age 3 and 90% by age 5. Now this is magical. I didn't know there was going to be that slide showing up there, so this is well done. 80% of brain cells are there by age 3. So there's a lot of work to do, birth to 3, and by the time you're in kindergarten, 90% of what you got, you've already got. What you're going to get, you've already got. Number 2, talking to your infant or young child builds a healthy brain. So does playing, so does singing, thanks for the singing over there, so does reading. Developmental specialists compare these interactions to tennis, serve and return, and play and return. That sort of interactivity is what builds connectivity with, between our members of our species and our young, and that sort of interactivity is what builds the child's social skills, but also their brain skills. It builds neurons.
The author, Ellen Goodman, who many of you remember used to write for the Boston Globe, wrote an article in the 1980s, long time ago, but I still remember it, that compared the issue of childcare to childbirth. It's a struggle, it's very painful, and when you get what you want, it's a joy, and you immediately forget about the pain. Unfortunately, this statement is still true. We all need to remember that the pain continues if we don't have quality experiences for all of our children, and we as Vermonters need to work to make sure that all families with young children have access to quality care during this most important time of life. So I am thrilled to be a part of this campaign.
Or the old standby, if you have a kid who's literally running around the room and needs to get energy out, I have a huge stack of books I keep on my desk. And I say, oh, this teacher on the way other end of the school needs these books right now. Can you bring them to her? And the moment the child leaves the room, I'll call the teacher literally way on the other end. They're on their way. Take the books, give them a stack that I need, and they bring it back. And not only do they feel like they're doing something important for me, but it changes their state, and they forget that they're frustrated and they're getting their energy out. So as you can see, I mean, we're not just teaching academics. There's so much more. We spend a great deal of time with these social emotional skills. So I'm sure you can see why I was so excited to learn about this Let's Grow Kids campaign. Now more Vermonters will understand the importance of a quality early learning experience at home and in childcare before the children reach kindergarten. I mean, so while we have all this great science on brain development and, you know, it's a no-brainer. I mean, we had science 19 years ago. Now the science is just more profound, telling us what we all knew, which is those early experiences matter. But how is it a business issue? It's a business issue because we also have the data now to show that children that receive the right kind or the most nurturing experiences that develop the brain early in life are tied to much greater graduation rates. I think it's 31% higher graduation rate. Children who receive that type of care, also it's tied to 23% increase in terms of productivity in society and economic prosperity for them growing forward. So it's a huge issue, ties to ensuring that we have a productive workforce. We also have data that says that every dollar invested in early care and education returns $7 later. So it really, to me, is a profound business issue. It's a profound societal issue, and it's one that now at Mile 19, I'm so excited to be part of this because I really believe that with this campaign, with this focus, this great work, and the foundation of so many of you who know so much more and have worked at it so much harder than I have engaged, that we really can do what Vermonters like to do, which is collaborate and get it done.